Hi family, good morning. So I'm taping on my own today because he had to go and do something. He went to the grocery, right? So I'm taping, and today, as I said, we're doing fried bakes, and the ingredients will be posted in the description down below in the video. And let's start. So I used 6 cups of flour. I've already added the yeast and the baking powder to my dish, and salt. So you're adding all the dry ingredients, and I used 1.5 tablespoons of baking powder, yeast, and 1.5 teaspoons of salt. So this is it here, and now I'm going to combine. You can use one hand, you can use both hands, your choice. I put bay leaf in my flour, so this is what this is. Right, I mean in my flour container to prevent weevils. When you buy plenty flour and you don't want it to get contaminated with weevils, you put some bay leaves. That's what we Trinis do. We put bay leaves in our rice and flour bowls, and even our containers with peas and stuff. My son is in the background making a lot of noise and watching Elmer. So this is well combined, and stay tuned. I'm going to now add some butter and nutmeg. I like to put some nutmeg in my flour. Right, not everybody puts it. Some people like the regular fried bake without anything else added in it, but I'm going to put some nutmeg in mine. It gives it a really nice flavor. As with everything else that you put nutmeg in, oh, the flavor is amazing. So to this I'm going to add some butter. Of course you'll get the correct measurements of everything in the description, as I said before. Yeah, so stay tuned. So now I'm adding my butter to the flour, to the dry ingredients. So it's 1 tablespoon of butter to every 2 cups of flour. So I've already added 2 tablespoons of butter, and now I'm adding 1 more tablespoon of butter. And I'm going to combine this. You just take in your hands like this and bring in together the butter, squeeze in basically the butter and the flour together. This is what you're doing. So that's you get pumpkin, so you just want all of the butter to combine with the flour. So this is what you're doing. This is the butter and the flour. You're taking your fingers, and this is what you're doing. You're bringing it together with your fingers. You're rubbing it together. That's the correct way. You're rubbing together with your fingers the butter and the flour. And when you're not feeling any lumps of butter in it, then you would add your liquid. But you need to make sure this part is done properly. You need to make sure that everything is incorporated. So we are adding some nutmeg to this now. Just a little, not too much overpower. I would say about ½ teaspoon. This is the nutmeg. I use whole nutmeg. If you want to use the powdered nutmeg, you could go ahead and use that. So you're incorporating again. So how you would know when the flour is ready, when you're not feeling any more butter and it's just feeling like the dried flour, that's when you know that your butter was correctly or properly incorporated with the flour. Right, this type of the nutmeg that I grated after the combining the butter and the flour, you could have done that in the first steps when adding all the other dried ingredients. I just forgot, so I apologize. Yeah, but I mean, at any point in time, you can add it. It's not going to make a difference, especially if it's the powdered one. It will just be incorporated. But it's best with the dry ingredients, to add it with the dry ingredients. So now to this, I'm going to add my liquid. So family, at this time we are going to incorporate liquid. I was editing and the part of the video where I was showing you actually how much liquid to put into the flour. It was deleted. Oh gosh, I was so upset, but it is what it is. I can't retrieve it. It wasn't just a deleted video, it was an edit and save, so that's why I can retrieve it. So basically I used milk and water to bring the flour together as a liquid, and the next step will show you the flour already combined. So you're basically when you put you're making a well in the center of the center of the flour, and you're adding the liquid there, and you're going to use your fingers, just like how I was showing you with the butter and the flour. You're going to use your fingers to incorporate the liquid and the flour, and you're going to the step that is going to come is me kneading. So you'll be actually, what I'm doing on the counter, you will be doing in the bowl, right? So when it's incorporated, everything comes together into a ball in the bowl, then you put it on the counter and you continue that kneading process. So you want to take your flour out of your bowl now and place it on your counter. At this point in time, you don't necessarily need to put flour on the surface, right? Because you don't want that to be adding more flour. You clean your hands as you go, right? And you gather up every piece of flour, and this is what you're doing. Push, bring in, push, bring in, push, bring in. This is what you're doing. You are in control of the flour isn't in control of you, and you're doing this process until you get a smooth dough. You don't want to overwork your flour, but you want to make sure that everything is well incorporated so that you'll have a perfect fried bake. So this is what it looks like. It's not a bread you're making, it's fried bake. So you don't want to overwork the flour, right? So although you want it smooth, I should have said semi-smooth, right? This is good. And now what we are going to do, we are going to make layers, right? So we are basically pinching off pieces of our flour. You could sprinkle some flour on your surface at this point in time so that the layers does not stick to the surface. So this is the size that you're using. Size of the pieces, you could put a little more because this is actually going to raise. We're going to leave this to raise for a little while. We start off with about leaving it to raise for about half an hour. If it's raised properly, if it raised enough, then we'll go ahead and roll out our balls and fry them. Some people will let the entire dough rest before breaking it up into layers, so they will let it rest and then take that dough, that risen dough, and bring it into balls, right, or layers. This is not what we're doing today. We are doing the quick version, and I'll show you how it looks. You just basically separating your dough. This will rise, so you don't want to make the dough, the balls or the layers super big, and then you know it will raise. These will raise. They would kind of double in size, right? So if you find some balls looking big, you could basically just take from them and you know, from the pieces that looking big, you could take off pieces of them and form one more bowl. So this is what it looks like, and I am going to roll these. I'm going to show you how. I'm going to add some flour to my surface. So you're just taking some flour in your hand and gently sprinkling the surface like this. And now this is what we are doing. So you're going to get a ball like this, and you're putting it on your counter. This is something that you want to do quickly because all now the dough will be raising. So I'm going to do it a little slower for someone who needs some help. You're bringing it in, pressing it in, bring it in, press it, turn it, press it. Again, taking from the outside, come in, outside, come in, outside, come in, outside, come in, and you move the dough while you go. Take from the end, come in, take from the end, come in, take from the end, come in, end, come in. So this is how your balls look for your fried bakes. So 6 cups of flour basically gave me 20 fried bakes. And this would be medium to large size. So now we're going to leave this to raise. You're going to cover it with a kitchen towel. And you're going to leave to raise for 30 minutes. And we're going to come back and check it. If it's not raised enough, which it should be, because even in 15 minutes it should be ready, but we want to give it enough time. So let's say every 15 minutes you can check on your balls, and if it's risen to the size that you want, you can go ahead and roll it. You want to give it enough time to raise so that when you're rolling it out, the ball will not be stiff. It will be movable. Yeah, it will be able to roll out, easily with a rolling pin. That's how you're covering it with your kitchen towels, and you're leaving that, setting the timer for 15 minutes to half an hour. So this is after I left it to rise for 30 minutes. So you see how it basically doubled in size. So now I'm going to put the oil in the pan, in the pot, and over here I line the bowl with greaseproof paper. So this is what it's going to go in after it's fried. I'm using an iron pot to fry the bakes, because any other pot or tinner pot will cook the bakes too quick, and they do naturally cook quickly. It don't take much time. Roll out our balls. So you just want to put a little bit of flour on the surface, not too much. You take the bottom of the surface and rub it in the flour, lightly coat it. And take your rolling pin and flour it like this. And there we go. You want to roll it into a circle, not too thin. Alright, this is good. This is what you want it to look like. Yeah? And then we're going to fry it in the oil. So I have 2 done so far. Remember, you don't want to put too much flour, but you don't want it to be dried out. Just lightly coat. If you think that if the rolling pin is sticking to the flour is sticking to the rolling pin. If the flour is sticking to the rolling pin, you want to add a little flour on the rolling pin, and you can add a little on the flour as well, just so that it wouldn't stick. Right. You don't want to roll out too much at a time. The heat on your oil should be medium low, because you don't want the bake to brown too fast and then the inside does not cook. So I'm doing it in batches of 5. As soon as the oil is ready, we'll go over to the stove so I can show you how it looks. So this is how it looks. As I said, I'm doing it in batches of 5. I'm just waiting for the oil to heat up. To know when your oil is hot enough, you take a little piece of flour like this, you drop it in the oil, and once it rises to the top immediately, you know that your oil is hot enough. You might want to lower it down a little because you don't want the bake to burn. So this is what I'm doing, family. In goes a bake. It will rise to the top. You see it forming bubbles on its own. If you want to have that, I'm showing you how it's rising on its own. To help it rise faster, that's what you want to do. You just want to take some oil and pour it on the top. So you get you a perfect round fried bake. Turn it. You want to get it as dark as you want it. If you like this color, that would be fine. However dark you want it once it's cooked. You can tilt it to the sides so you can get a little color. This is a good color. So now you drain the oil and you put it in here. We're going to do another one. See how it rises to the top? Same process. Pour the oil on top to help it rise faster and form a perfect ball. Now turn it so that the other side to get some color. If you have a bigger pot, I do have a bigger pot, but however, this is my favorite pot to use on frying bakes. So you can use a bigger iron pot if you have one. Again, you can turn at the sides. Just put it against the sides of the pot so that the sides can cook. It might take a little practice for some who don't know how to do this, but just watch the video carefully and you'll get a hang of it eventually. You're just doing this so that the sides could cook. And I want it to get a little more color on this side, so I'm turning it. That is a nice color there. Yeah. This is our finished product, our fry bakes.
Oh.
They are so delicious. My husband done take one already. So now I'm going to make my tuna. I may or may not post it.
Water? Water, say water.
What is it, babe?
Good.
Husband approved?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. So fam, that's a wrap. I am hungry and I am going to eat. I can't help but take another piece. I go on. That's all for today.